Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you have liked my previous videos for class 10 students, chapter 6 part 1 and part 2. This is part 3 on chapter 6 life processes again. In this I'll be discussing transportation in human beings and transportation in plants. Students, if you have any suggestions to make, please do write in the comment section below so that I can incorporate those points in my next videos. Thank you. Students, before studying the transport system or the circulatory system in organisms, let us see what are the things that needs to be transported. In my video of chapter 6 part 1, in nutrition we have seen that the digested food from the small intestine is absorbed by the villi and it is sent to every cell of the body. So it needs a transport system. In respiratory system, that is part 2 of chapter 6, we have seen that oxygen is taken in from outside the body. It goes to the cells, do respiration there, and sends carbon dioxide out of the body. So it also requires a transport system. In anaerobic respiration, we have seen that lactic acid accumulates in the muscles. This lactic acid, after some time, gets absorbed in the body. So where it goes and how it is transported needs a study. Then we have various other excretory products which are formed in the body, and we'll be studying this in my next video, part 4 of chapter 6. Then we have hormones, which are chemicals which are synthesized at a particular sites and then sent to the place of action. So they need to be transported. Then we have heat. Heat is formed during chemical reactions in the body and it requires dissipation, or it is to be sent out of the body so that temperature of the body is maintained. So all these factors which we have seen here needs a well organized transport system. So we'll be studying this system in my next slides. Different organisms have adopted different systems of transportation depending on their need. Organisms have two systems of circulation, open system and closed system. In open system, the blood from the heart pours into the tissues. That means they do not have vessels to carry the blood. You can see this open system in fishes, arthropods, and invertebrates. In closed system of circulation, the blood from the heart or from one portion of the body to another portion goes within tubes or capillaries. That means they have vessels to carry the blood. Examples are mammals, birds. Similarly, there is difference in the hearts of organisms also depending on their need. For example, fishes have only two chambers in their heart. We have seen in respiration that blood is pumped to the gills from the heart for oxygenation. And then it is sent back to the body parts and then back to the heart. So it is single circulation in which the blood is going only once to the heart. There are many reptiles and many amphibians which have three-chambered heart. Though they have three-chambered heart, they tolerate some mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. They follow double circulation. That means the blood is going twice in the heart. However, their body temperature varies with the environment. That means they are cold-blooded animals. Cold-blooded animal means their body temperature will increase with increase in temperature of the surroundings, or it will decrease with the decrease in temperature of the surroundings. So how do they adjust to the change in climatic conditions? Basically, they have adopted certain features in their body so that they can adjust to these climatic conditions. For example, they store fat in their body and they hibernate during the months of winter. Some of the birds you must have heard that they migrate to regions which are warmer. So this way they adjust to the surroundings. Major components of human transport system are the heart, blood, and blood vessels. Blood vessels are of three types: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Let us study the structure of an organ which is responsible for distribution of nutrients, waste, and materials from one part of the body to another part. This organ is the heart. Heart, as we draw symbolically like this, is very different from this. You can see here it is so complicated. Heart is a muscular organ which is made up of muscles. The size is approximately the size of a fist. Heart has four chambers. The upper chambers are known as right atrium and the left atrium. The lower chambers are known as right ventricle and the left ventricle. Heart is tilted slightly towards the left side of our chest. You can see one more difference while drawing the heart. If this is our body, if this is the right side of our body and this is the left side of our body, while drawing it on paper, left side of the body is drawn on the right side of the sheet of paper. And the right side of the body is drawn on the left side of sheet of paper. You must follow the same rule while drawing it. The upper chambers are separated by the lower chambers by a valve. There is a tricuspid valve between the right atrium and the right ventricle, which means it has three cusps-like structures. Two are seen here. One is hidden below the pulmonary artery. We have bicuspid valve in between the left atrium and the left ventricle. That means it has two cusps. These valves are door-like structures which control the entry and exit of blood from the atriums into the ventricles. The left side of the heart is separated from the right side by a septum. This septum is muscular and it prevents the mixing of oxygenated blood from deoxygenated blood. The pulmonary artery and the aorta also has valves. Pulmonary artery and aorta, which have valves, prevent the backflow of blood into the ventricles. Aorta is the largest artery of the body and it branches and supplies to all the parts of the body. Two pulmonary veins coming from the left lung and the right lung brings the blood in the left atrium. The inferior vena cava brings the blood from the lower portions of the body, and superior vena cava brings the blood from parts of the body which are placed higher than the heart, and they open their ducts into the right atrium. The pulmonary artery branches and takes the blood to the left and the right lung. The heart beats. That means it contracts and relaxes rhythmically. This contraction begins from the muscular septum. Let us see what happens in the heart when it is contracting and relaxing. Heart contracts 2 times. First time when it is contracting, the atriums, right and the left, are contracting simultaneously or together. When they are relaxing, the right ventricle and the left ventricle contract simultaneously. So when the right atrium and left atrium are relaxing, the blood from inferior vena cava brings blood from the lower part of the body, and superior vena cava brings blood from the upper part of the body and empties itself into the right atrium. At the same time, blood from the left lung and the right lung by the pulmonary vein is brought into the left atrium. Now, right atrium and left atrium are filled with blood. They contract. When they contract, the tricuspid valve on the right side and the bicuspid valve on the left side opens. While opening, they produce a sound which is known as LUP sound, and it spells L-U-P. The ventricles are filled with blood, the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Once they are filled with blood, they contract the second time. Now, the valves on the pulmonary artery and the aorta opens and produces a sound which is known as DUP sound, and it spells D-U-P. Once the valve opens, the blood goes into the pulmonary artery and the aorta. Pulmonary artery takes the blood to the left and right of the lung. Aorta takes the blood to all the parts of the body. So based on the flow of blood, we have two types of circulation: pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. As the name suggests, pulmonary means towards lungs. So when the blood is taken from heart to lungs and back to heart, it is known as pulmonary circulation. Systemic means flow of blood from heart to body parts and back to heart. Then what is double circulation in human beings? Double circulation means that the blood is entering twice in the heart. Once the oxygenated blood is going from lungs to heart for distribution to organs and cells. And then deoxygenated blood goes from body organs to the heart, which is sent to lungs for oxygenation. So the blood is entering twice in the heart, therefore it is double circulation. It is a characteristic feature of mammals. Students, you must know that in these four chambers, there is no exchange of oxygen or carbon dioxide. All the body parts are supplied by arteries. They branches and form capillaries. So exchange takes place at the region of cell of all the organs, whether it is lung, whether it is heart. The cells receives oxygenated blood, gives oxygen, and the carbon dioxide is taken from the cells by the capillaries of veins, which are known as venules, which join to form a vein and takes it away from those cells to the lungs for oxygenation. Let us study the blood vessels which carry blood in the body. Blood vessels are arteries, veins, and capillaries. All the three are carrying blood, but there are slight differences in their structure. Let us see the differences. Arteries, as you can see here, have thick wall. The walls are thick compared to the walls of veins. Arteries are deep-seated in the body, whereas veins are superficial. Arteries carry blood away from the heart, and veins carry blood to the heart. Arteries carry oxygenated blood, veins carry deoxygenated blood. Exception is pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated blood, and pulmonary vein, which carries oxygenated blood. Valves are present in veins to prevent backflow of blood, but they are absent in arteries. Capillaries are fine branches of arteries or veins. When an artery divides into two and many other branches, the capillaries become thin-walled and permeable so that exchange of gases and material can take place across their membranes. Let us see how the flow of blood is maintained in the vessels. It is by the pressure of the blood. Now, how this pressure comes? This pressure comes when the heart pumps the blood. The heart pumps the blood with the pressure. This pressure is exerted on the walls of artery. This is known as systolic blood pressure. This pressure is maximum and the value in normal adult is 120 millimeter Hg. When the heart relaxes, the pressure releases and the pressure exerted on the walls of arteries is also less. In adults, this pressure is approximately 80 millimeter Hg. It is known as diastolic blood pressure. The blood pressure can be measured with the help of an instrument called sphygmomanometer and stethoscope. Sphygmomanometer consists of a tube containing mercury. So when the heart contracts, it produces a sound. This sound can be heard by a stethoscope. When the sound is heard, the measurement is known as systolic blood pressure. When the pressure in the tube is released, the sound disappears and the arteries relaxes. So when the sound disappears, this is known as diastolic blood pressure. We now know that the heart pumps the blood with the pressure, and the pressure is so much that the pressure can be felt on the walls of the arteries. From the arteries, because of this pressure, the blood reaches the capillaries of the arteries. And from the capillaries, it reaches every cell of the organs. Every organ means the brain, the face, neck, chest, lungs, kidney, stomach, and every organ and every cell. Here, the food has also reached from the digestive system, where oxidation of food takes place at the cellular level. From the cells, carbon dioxide is given out. This is taken up by the capillaries of veins, which joins to form a vein, and the vein takes back the deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. From the capillaries, there is leakage of solutes, water, and ions, which fills the spaces between the cells. Because it fills the spaces between the cells, it is called interstitial fluid. This interstitial fluid I have shown by the leakage by yellow drops is collected by the lymphatic capillaries that join into lymphatic ducts and which drain it into the lymphatic organ. So lymph is a yellowish fluid which is present in intercellular spaces. It carries lymphocytes that fight infection. It carries digested and absorbed fat from the intestine. Large size proteins and fat molecules, which are leaked from the capillaries, cannot re-enter the capillaries of veins. So they enter the lymphatic fluid. So the extra fluid from extracellular space goes back from the lymphatic organ into the blood. Transportation in plants is simple. Let us see how it happens. The water and minerals is absorbed by the root hairs present in the root. Now the cell which absorbs the water has a high concentration of water and the next cell has a low concentration. So the water molecules move from this region to the cell with low concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. This process is known as osmosis. So the cells from the root hairs are continuous till the leaf, forming a column-like structure, and this column is known as xylem. Xylem, students, as you all know, consists of 4 components: tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. The water on reaching the leaves is lost if it is in excess by a process known as transpiration. This water is lost from stomata in the form of vapors. When the water is lost, this cell develops a low pressure compared to the next cell. So there is a transpiration pull which is maintained in this column of xylem. So basically, 3 factors which are responsible for the movement of water is the root pressure, the osmotic pressure, and the transpiration pull. The movement of water is unidirectional as water rises from the roots till the leaf. Let us see how movement of food takes place. Food, as we know, is prepared in leaves. And from the leaves, it goes to the storage structure, maybe a fruit, and to other parts. So the movement of food is bidirectional. In the leaves, phloem tubes are present, which helps in movement of food from the leaf to all the parts. Phloem consists of 4 components: seed tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fiber. I hope you have understood this transportation in plants. Students, hope you enjoyed watching this video and understood the concept of transportation in plants and organisms. Please do write your suggestions, if any, in the comment section below. My next video will be on excretory system in organisms. Like and subscribe my channel to get the notification of my next videos. Thank you for watching this video.